What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Gamer News number 52. Live free or die trying. I'm here at my man Tristan's Twisted World.
Yo.
And here with Skill Captain Red Death, aka Wilson.
Yo.
And tonight we're coming together after all playing Grand Theft Auto and not committing violent crime. And we're here to discuss the recent attack that mainly Fox News is attacking this game, and particularly one article that just came out: Grand Theft Auto 5 sales set record. Why are we surprised when virtual violence becomes reality? And this is really like what we call a red herring, and that means that there's no concrete evidence that Grand Theft Auto sales lead to increasing murders, suicides, or otherwise violent behavior. The article is simply linked to coincidences as if they were causally linked. For example, the opening paragraph: even if the people that committed these terrible crimes are Rockstar's target audience, that does not prove that 1, they even played the game, 2, they're influenced by its mature nature, or 3, that the Grand Theft Auto was even a factor in commission of these crimes. Sure, there have been cases of people trying to emulate the action seen in the series, but to make a compelling case that there needs to be a substantial rise in violent crime during these periods of these games' release, which they have not and most likely cannot prove. So, basically, there's no stats in these claims. There's just people basically doing a glorified version of blogging on Fox News, where they should be held to higher standards. Everybody, tries to hold us to higher standards, but then they come in and, it's just, anyways, there's just a lot of issues with what's going on right now. And, for example, the real true fact is that violence has been caused by armies and war criminals and generals over our lifetime history. People like Joseph Stalin and Hitler that never played video games. They caused the most violence. And then the people that they're trying to use as these examples, which I'm not going to name them, just out of respect, but you guys can talk about it detailed if you want. I'm just saying the American tragedies that have happened recently, these people that have caused these things have serious mental problems, and that has become evident. For example, one of these guys said he talks to a microwave. So obviously video games are not the problem, where somebody's talking to a microwave. And then there's been other cases where people were bullied and stuff, and that caused them to do what they did. So video games is like the scapegoat, but in reality, if this game's going to sell 20 million copies and then one person does one violent crime, that's like saying all the victims wore pants. You should ban pants. It just doesn't make sense. It's like a percentage that's like ridiculously low. And the fact is, over and over again, the feds have proven that every time, well, they didn't necessarily aim to prove this, but their statistics, if you line it up with GTA releases, every time Grand Theft Auto comes out, crime goes down.
That's what mostly every major game.
Yeah, every time a major violent game comes out, crime goes down.
Games like Grand Theft Auto, where it comes out, with a bang, like made $1 billion in 3 days, then.
That's because people are not doing those violent things. They're actually, the majority of them, they're actually acting things out in the virtual world, and it helps their stress relief, and they don't have to do things like that. And then if somebody goes and does a violent crime, it's because they have their own mental problems, or their life has been really violent, like maybe they have come from a home where physical abuse was in their face all the time. They had to watch like their parents beat each other up or something, or maybe they live in a gang neighborhood where they've seen people getting shot from a very early age. Stuff like that is what really causes violence. But I'm going to let you guys talk now. I just wanted to say my quick introduction to this topic. Go ahead, you guys.
Wilson, you want to kick us off?
I played worse games than that. I played worse games than Grand Theft Auto. I played worse games than Grand Theft Auto. I play games that make Grand Theft Auto look like Little Big Planet, if they want to talk about violence. You know. So
Want to list some example?
Silent Hill 4, the room, that one part where the kid finally got his chocolate milk and he just burned himself alive. He burned himself to death.
And there are no kids in Grand Theft Auto, except for the inclusion of the character Michael in Grand Theft Auto 5, his son and daughter, but they are more teenager area.
Yeah. And sorry about that guy on the motorcycle.
I had one.
See, Wilson lives in a violent reality, not in a violent virtual world. That motorcycle probably just drove off to go talk to a microwave.
Yeah. Or go rob a bank or something.
Which, another point is, the main purpose of Grand Theft Auto 5, since me and Wilson have played and beaten it, is not to simply mindlessly run around and kill people, even though that is something you can do, as we all know. It's a open world sandbox. There's more stuff to do than just run around and shoot people, though. Which usually, and you find yourself killing more cops than you would in civilians in this game, right? You'd all agree on that?
Yeah.
And
I killed a lot of cops.
Yeah.
I'm still free.
Yeah. But the main point of Grand Theft Auto 5 is they are bank robbers. They're not walking into schools and shooting people.
Exactly. Or they're
not trying to say that robbing banks is a good thing, but I'm just saying that's...
No, I mean,
the
way what they're saying is the game makes you portray stuff in real life, what you could do on the game. And I beat the whole game. Me and Tristan beat the game. I have not once stepped into school. I haven't even seen a school in the game.
I think there might be one school. I don't know.
I didn't, you know. Yes, I ran into jewelry stores and a bank, but that's it. I didn't go to a movie theater and shoot up the place dressed as Batman. I didn't go to Virginia in the game and shoot up Virginia Tech. I didn't go to school in Connecticut in the game and shoot, a bunch of helpless little kids. I mean, we didn't do none of that. We just shot grown people that we had to kill because you're supposed to kill them. What do you want me to say? You're supposed to kill them. There ain't nothing about it. But I'm not going out and say, hey, you, motherfucker, give me your shit, and then just blast them away. I slept with a few prostitutes, but I got my money back after I killed them. That doesn't mean I'm doing it in real life. But if they're going to sit there and say, oh, the game makes you do stuff, well... No, it doesn't. I haven't left my house in, 3 days? I did what I had to do. I came home, and I haven't left my house. I haven't even spoken to my girlfriend. Texting, that's about it, but other than that, I just started talking to her over the phone because I beat the game. If they think that's violent, oh my gosh, this world's coming to an end. And it's fucked up because I watch Fox News. And for them to even do that, it's like a slap to the face. They want to blame the Navy Yard because the guy just ran up and just started. It ain't got nothing to do with the game. The guy just was mentally ill, and he just decided to go to the wrong place and shoot up.
Didn't they say he bought the game though, right?
Yeah, they bought the game, but that happened before the game came out.
Yeah.
Did they ever produce an actual receipt of that?
No.
Then they're just saying that?
They're just saying he bought the game.
They're saying
but he did this before. Somehow he was able to buy the game after.
This happened before the game happened. But Tristan said something about he got it from Grand Theft Auto 4, or that was another kid?
Wait, there was a kid that was a small child a few weeks ago that just got done playing Grand Theft Auto 4, and he lived in like an RV with his grandma, if I remember correctly, and there was a gun laying out in the middle of the table, so he grabbed it and apparently shot his grandmother.
Well, that's not his.
In a small enclosed RV, just a gun, no safety on it, just laying out, and his grandma was like 80-something years old.
That's not the game's fault.
No.
The kid is old enough to see guns. He probably didn't know the gun was even loaded.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been. That was number one. he should not have been allowed to play the game. Number two,
He was
How old was
5,
the
I
kid?
believe.
yeah, nobody should have allowed him to play the game. That's bad parenting. Number two, there should not have been a gun hanging around. That's just bad gun safety. And number three, we don't know if he had a mental problem. We don't know if his grandmother like beat him and stuff. We
Maybe his
don't know
grandma
if
made him do it. You know, she's old.
maybe he has, or maybe he has a mental problem and he thought he was hearing voices or something, and he should have had a psychiatrist or something.
You know what's probably gonna happen?
And definitely, number one, above all else, nobody should have allowed him to play that game. Like, I have a close friend that she's not allowing her son to play it, and he's 14. And everybody at school is pressuring her to allow him to play it. Even, like, teachers and stuff are saying, like, oh, you should let him play it and stuff. And she's like, no, I'm not letting him play that because he's not old enough to play that. Because he doesn't understand these things are just game. And, like, he doesn't need to see these things. He's not been exposed to them. Why would I expose him to them? So go ahead, Wilson. What are you going to say?
You remember that time where they try to like stop them from taking out violent parts of the video game, make them clean? Remember that? A few years back, they try to.
Yeah.
And the government miserably lost. I have a feeling it's gonna happen again. They're gonna lose again, but it's just a waste of freaking time. This country is in a world of shit, and they're paying attention to video games.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there's so many real things that they could be focusing on, and they're just focusing on this. It's almost like they just want to distract you from what's really going on in the world. Instead of focusing on real life issues that affect us, they're trying to focus on a fake excuse for why bad things are happening, when in real life they have their own reasons why they're happening. Like, you know, psychotic people don't need to be having guns, and psychotic people need to be having psychiatric help.
And you know what? I am pro-gun. I am pro-gun.
Yeah, of course. If it's going to be a responsible adult
Exactly.
that's going to know how to do safety with the machine, and only going to use it in the worst case scenario, if like someone was going to rob your house with a gun, then you need it. If not, then you don't need it. You leave it in a cabinet, locked up and shit, like you're supposed to, so that nobody can get to it except you. And then they're coming out with this thing soon called smart guns, where like in the movies in the past, where if you pick up the gun and it checks your handprints, and if you're not the owner of it, it won't work. So
I grew up around guns. You know,
Hmm?
I grew
What?
up around guns. My dad, I lived in Oklahoma. I bought my first gun when I was 13 years old in Oklahoma. All I needed to show was state ID. I don't have a record. I didn't go up and go shoot nobody. Why? The first thing my dad said was, "There's gonna be guns in the house. I'm gonna show you how to use a gun." By the age of 14, I was already cleaning guns with a blindfold. I didn't go out shooting anybody. There's a difference between me growing up in a safe environment, knowing what a gun can do, and there's a difference between a kid growing up in the worst parts of the ghetto and thinking it's cool to walk around with a gun. You know what I mean? And that's the whole point. Like, I remember at one point my dad at that time when I was in Oklahoma, he had 17 guns in his gun shed. Not once I picked up the gun to shoot it unless we went to a firing range. So it was just like, you know, what are they even talking about? Gun law is not going to work. Chicago has an all-out ban, and there's still gun violence. California has an all-gun ban, and I think last time I checked, it was like every 30 seconds, like 20-something people are getting shot. New York, look at New York, for example. You know, a year ago, a kid took his dad's gun to school by accident. It was an illegal purchased gun. If these politicians are going to think that gun laws are going to work, they must be smoking that good stuff, because
I won't let they're smoking, man.
and they must think
No,
that
you don't. Stay clean.
I know, I'm just kidding.
They must think that the criminals are going to turn in their weapons. Oh man, the gun law, crap. Let's go to the nearest place and turn our guns in.
Right, exactly, because That's the whole point of this country, was that people can protect themselves from
This is how this
lunatic.
country was raised. It was
Yeah, you gotta
Second Amendment right,
you gotta
correct?
you gotta protect yourself from those lunatics. That's a very small percentage of lunatic people that going out there and doing these events.
look at that stuff. What
But
happened here
it
in
could
New York
happen
City
because it does happen.
with that idiot Cuomo? He passed the gun law so fast that he didn't even read it. And in the state of New York, you cannot have a gun. If you own a gun, you have to have 7 bullets or less. That idiot passed the law so fast that they didn't want nobody to go out and buy the gun. Little did he know that the bill was for everybody. So guess what? Every single cop in New York and every single other law enforcement in New York, including my dad, because he's in the law enforcement, because he works for the feds, they had to empty out their guns. The NYPD, the FBI, whoever, they had to empty out their guns. Why? Because the dumbass politicians think they know everything when they don't. It doesn't take a Harvard degree to figure out what's common sense is what's not. Bloomberg just not too long ago said that he found the loophole to buy guns on the internet. Little did the idiot know that when you buy guns to the internet, it doesn't go straight to your house. It goes to the nearest gun retailer, and then they'll give you the background check. But when you got idiots like that talking, that's what happens. And you know what I say? It's not the idiot that's in office, it's the idiots that put him in office.
Continue.
And
I mean, sometimes we don't always get political, but this is a special moment where we have to. So go ahead, Wilson.
this is to all the idiots out there that's listening to this is from New York and you voted for Bloomberg or Cuomo, eat it. Now you're stuck with it. That's what I say. At least there were, that's one reason why I decided to become. That's my main decision. I became Republican, because Republicans lie to your face. Yeah, we lie. Everybody lies. They're just idiots. They're freaking idiots. They're idiots. It went from no smoking in public areas. It went from Cuomo and Bloomberg fighting for no soda bigger than 16 ounces.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Bloomberg is trying to take every single styrofoam out of New York City. He's trying to mess with the food stamps, where you can't buy sugary products with food stamps. Now he's going right back into guns.
What if you have low blood sugar? I got
Is
low
that
blood.
not taken into account?
I got low blood sugar. Sometimes I need a sugary product, or I'll pass out.
I don't know.
I mean, I understand. They're trying to help people, but it's kind of like backfire.
It's one thing helping, is another thing forcing. You can't just tell somebody, oh, don't drink no soda. You know what I mean? Like, he's an idiot. You take away to a 2-liter, all they're going to do is buy 2 6-packs of Coca-Cola, and you got your 2-liter right there.
Right, yeah. You can't stop things like that. Silly. That's a silly way to try and stop things. Just like, trying to make guns illegal, and the criminals go, well, so what? We weren't following the law in the first place.
The only thing I agree with Bloomberg is when they stop and frisk, and then the gun violence here in New York rose again, because gun violence in New York City was low when they started doing the stop and frisk. But not once did Bloomberg blame the video game. Not once did Bloomberg say it's all about the digital era. No. No, it's not. Because you should be smart enough to know fiction from reality, because you can't just jump out of an airplane and just parachute. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and it still comes down to parenting issues, because the game industry is very, very strictly enforcing the ratings. Like, back when they first invented these ratings, some stores didn't enforce them. So, like, say if it was a mature game, back when I was a kid, I could convince a dude at the store to sell me a mature game when I was young. But nowadays, they'll ID me even though I'm old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my whole beard, I got all my hair and stuff. I'm obviously, you look at me, I mean, my picture on my Google right now is without my beard and stuff. So I could see if I shaved, I have a really young looking face, so I can understand getting carded for my games. I don't get mad. I really don't. But
They try to ID me.
Yeah, they ID everybody now.
Let me see some ID. I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? One, I'm not gonna show you ID, but I will tell your supervisor this. He asked me to show his ID, knowing I'm old enough. You know what? You just lost out on a product that I was just about to buy.
Yeah, but at the same time, you gotta respect the fact that.
I don't gotta respect nothing.
No, I'm just saying.
When I
Listen.
have more hair than before, my face has more hair on my. I have more hair on my face than I have you. Then shut up and give me what I want.
Okay,
I don't
but
wanna show it.
Wilson, you're missing the point here. What I'm trying to say is they're very strictly enforcing the rating system. So any kids, what my main point is, any kids that's getting this game, or mentally unstable people that's getting this game, somebody's getting it for them.
Oh yeah, there's a loophole to everything.
Right. So what I'm saying is, it's just like a movie or a porn magazine or something. If you're gonna say that influenced your child or something, you shouldn't have fucking got it for them.
Yeah, well, it's the way how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have to go to a store to get a porno mag. I just lifted on my dad's side of the bed and I watched it. So I
And even though people bought those anymore, they have the internet now.
no, yeah.
Right. Well, we're talking about back in the days, but you get the point. Like, if a violent criminal got his influence and he was 5 years old and he got his influence off of GTA 4, somebody's not doing their job as a parent or a grandparent or whatever, a guardian.
Yeah. No, but I mean, man, I played with my dad some pretty bad games when I was 5 years old. He didn't do nothing because
Yeah, me too.
My
Yeah,
dad,
me too. And I never done nothing bad like that.
my dad is that's stupid. I mean, if my 5-year-old want to play a game, I'm gonna allow her to anyway because one, she's gonna see it later. She's gonna see it later.
Right, but see, you're being the mature parent and you're sitting there watching it with them and explaining to them, like, the bad sides of it. Like, oh yeah, this is funny. However, when people do this in real life, bad stuff happens. And this is the bad stuff that happens, and that's the bad stuff that happens, and that's why nobody does this for real. And then they understand what they just learned. And when a kid's just given the game, and then you walk away and go to sleep and leave a shotgun on the table in the kitchen, then you're not doing the job correctly as the parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just common sense. Everything has to do with common sense. You know? If that's the case, you know what? Next time there's an accident, they should blame it on Grand Theft Auto. If there's you know what I mean? Because honestly, like, in Grand Theft Auto 4, one of my favorite things to do was I would get in the SUV, I would get on the sidewalk, and I would run every single pedestrian over. It's fun. I like to do that, but I'm not doing it in real life. I'm not going out and...
Yeah, I've never would dream of that, man. I mean, the legal consequences, the feeling bad about what you just did to people, and
even at my highest point of road rage, when I fucking have real bad road rage. I mean, I would bite the steering wheel, but I wouldn't do that what I do in the game.
right, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, man, we're regular human beings. We're never gonna do anything like that. But people that have mental problems, they were gonna do it even if this game was never invented.
It was happening before.
It was happening before this game came out.
And for them and for Fox News to say, you know, oh, he did it because of Grand Theft Auto 5, but you look at the date when it happened, he did it before. You know.
Yeah, there's something else going on.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think, and I'm not the first person to say this, the government paid him to do it just so they can talk about the gun control again. That's what I think.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that, but I'm not going to censor. I'm not going to censor you.
That's what I think because it's just all of a sudden, you know, went into a Navy Yard. Oh, it's the video game's fault. Days before the video game came out. And you know what? And if Fox News is gonna say this, is gonna hear this, then they're gonna hear me say right now. I would have respected your article more if you would have said he watched videos on YouTube before the game came out. And I still wouldn't even give him respect because that happened a week before the game came out, unless he got it from Amazon. You know what I mean? Like, but it's still, I've done really bad stuff in this game. Did I do it in real life? No, because I know that this it's gonna put me somewhere where I'm not gonna want to be.
Not to mention, you know it's wrong. You don't even want to do it, really. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, have you ever like, you know, I mean, we've all had like a little fist fight or something, and then that's whatever. But even if you're like, say if you have a dog, and your dog like pees all over the freaking kitchen table, you might like smack him, but then you'll feel bad about it after, like because you're a regular person. If you're a psycho and stuff, then maybe you'll chop him up into
And
pieces,
remember,
but that's not because of a game.
Chop is in the game. The dog, the Chop dog is in the game. I'm surprised Peter ain't saying nothing about it. It says, "Oh, this game portrays animal abuse, making the dog attack people." I would expected Peter more than what Fox News did.
Oh yeah, the dog. You can sick it on people.
But at the end of the day, there's this saying, and that's art imitates life. Life doesn't imitate art. So the game didn't make this stuff up on its own. This stuff existed in real life, and then they made a game out of it. You know what I mean? People always try to put it the backwards way and try and blame everything on the art, when the art is just a representation of the darkest parts of what we already do in America. This is what America is like. It's not like this is unrealistic. This is exactly painting the picture. Why is dogs in there attacking people? Because that's what people do in America with dogs.
Exactly.
It's not like it's not like some writers sat down and mastermind a great idea from fiction. This is based all on real life. So if you don't like, it's like putting a mirror to America's face. If you don't like what you're seeing, you need to fix your country. Don't try to, block them. Don't try to smash the mirror. You need to fix your face.
It's dumb. All that shit is just dumb.
And that's just too much work for them, so they'd rather just smash the mirror, which is just not going to fix your problem.
Well, I don't know. But me and Tristan are going to start finding those secret locations.
Mm-hmm.
Try to see if there's even more secret locations, because this is a huge open world.
Oh yeah, another fact, I don't know if I should actually say this, but there's a lot of alien, Illuminati, satanic references in this game.
So are you saying that you think that that's why Fox News is going to get attacking them, maybe?
That might be their real reason, but
Maybe
it's not
Rockstar
like-
Games got some people in high places upset?
maybe, because Rockstar definitely, based off things that happen in the game, they definitely do not support him. Or at least that's how it appears to me, because there's a mission where you rob a bank of their gold, and we all know who owns these types of banks, So presumably, that would be who they were robbing, and specific characters are definitely a part of that organization, even if it's not even stated in the game. Based off of knowledge, if you understand things like, all of us do, then you could tell that's
Like
who these
symbolically, you're robbing the World Bank, which
Yeah.
is basically the Illuminati, or even if you don't want to believe in Illuminati, it's the people that own the planet financially.
certain
So-
characters you kill resemble these people that are in the high places. So presumably these characters are against that ideal, and based off of things they say in their actions, of course they would be against these ideals. They may not be, saints, but at least they're not, running around killing kids. They have boundaries to them. They're not just mindless criminals, except maybe with the exception of Trevor, but he's just an unstable person.
Yeah.
And Trevor, and not even he runs around and kills people.
No. But half of the stuff you could do in Grand Theft Auto, you couldn't even make it out alive. You couldn't even make
Yeah,
it that way.
unless you are like
The World Bank and expect
crazy.
you couldn't even do that.
Oh, you could, but it would just be really hard.
You couldn't even do that.
Like
I mean,
really, really, really hard.
unless you could do that.
It would be.
I mean, yeah, anything is possible. You just gotta find out when the stupid people shift start. That's the only way you're gonna
Yeah.
get away with it. When it's the stupid's turn to watch the building. Other than
For
that,
example, one of the realistic portions of the game, there's a part where you have to, well, you get the option to, so you can impersonate a janitor late at night when, barely anybody's going to be working at this government building, and, you're able to plant bombs in that building because, who's going to expect a janitor,
yeah. Or the firefighter.
Yeah. The firefighters, yes. Who's expect the firefighters running to this building to be the people who are actually, the game takes itself seriously in these notes, and it represents, that doesn't stuff like that doesn't happen every day, but things like dogs being sicked on people, gang wars on the streets, people
Yeah.
getting chased by cops every day,
Did you say
there's just
Game
a,
Wars?
huh?
Did you say Game Wars?
Gang wars,
Game Wars.
right? No, gain, like in Grove Street.
He's
for
just saying
example.
gang.
Oh, I thought you said Game Wars. Like you have
Gain.
Claymores in the game, or what?
There are claymores in the game, sorta. But that's besides the point.
So I don't got much to say. I don't know about you guys, but after this, I'm gonna go on a killing spree now. In the game.
I'm playing Grand Theft Auto right now, and I don't feel like walking outside and shooting people.
It's retardedism. Retardedism.
Yes.
Alright, well, I appreciate you guys for joining me tonight. It had to be done. Like I said, we normally don't get political on this show, but this is kind of a serious issue that's going on in the world right now, and it has to do with the #1 selling game of all time, so it is relevant.
The
And thank you.
fastest selling
It's
game
either
of all
that-
time.
It's either that or the Call of Duty fans.
Alright, so I'll catch
Call
you
of
guys
Duty.
later. Until then, keep it real, keep it gaming. Thank you again for joining me, you guys.
All right, man.
Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.